versus O2LOVEO. On the call, hit Stoic and make it a button.
Yep, and here we go. As you can see, DUCHAN on the left side and O2LOVEO on the right side. Pre-bans coming out. Tianlang in the dark. Onimusha getting pre-banned.
Yeah, great pre-ban from both players. Obviously, Tianlang, the unit that counters DUCHAN's Ragdoll, and O2LOVEO taking out the Dark Onimusha. DUCHAN, whenever I fight him on the ladder, tends to use a Dark Onimusha cleave, and that's something that defines how a lot of players play. When you have a Dark Onimusha, it's just such a high damage unit. Does a lot, it fits into AoE cleave, so it makes a lot of sense here. These players are going really fast with their picks here. We see O2LOVEO taking the Nana, Masha, DUCHAN going in with the Shizuka Ragdoll here. So kind of a little bit of passive play from DUCHAN. Obviously, he can go a little active and shift it if he wants with some sort of cleave, but it's going to be a little tough given the fact that O2LOVEO's already laid down a Nana and also has some resilience when he lays down that Praha.
Yep, definitely. These players are drafting very, very quickly. O2LOVEO slowing it down with the Praha and Oliver. DUCHAN knows exactly what he wants here. And there's the Robo G92 coming out here alongside the Changpong.
Yeah, and there we go with the cleave here. DUCHAN, when he does have a Gianna, is able to also lead into a cleave because 3 of those units provide AoE stuns, and 2 of them dominate attack bars, the Changpong and the Robo G92 here. So DUCHAN is comfortable to ban out that last pick. O2LOVEO, of course, taking that Vertihile. That Vertihile is going to be banned here. Otherwise, Masha would have been the other ban. So Vertihile is going to be a force ban because it provides too much volatility into 3 AoE units. So DUCHAN's going to take that out. And if I'm O2LOVEO, I'm pretty scared of the Shizuka here. But the Ragdoll also makes sense too. But in this situation here, I like DUCHAN's situation. He's got a lot of AoE cleave, a lot of AoE damage, so look to see if that Masha's going to be able to resist something and get a couple of procs. Otherwise, DUCHAN should have this one.
There you go. We've got Gianna kicking things off for DUCHAN. Going to be throwing that bomb and gets resisted on top of that Masha. Of course, with the skill 3 available, he can go for the strips and the potential stuns on the Oliver. And Prod not receiving that strip stun on top of the Praha, though.
Wow, really unlucky not to get that bomb because Shizuka is not going to be able to bomb with 3rd skill here. So really unlucky for DUCHAN, and of course, not even getting that strip onto that Praha is huge because now O2LOVEO's going to have speed buff on his entire team, and he's going to be able to do enough damage and stack these orbs over time.
Yep, it really is. We've got skill 2 available with the Changpong. Of course, he has the skill 3 as well that might come out here to get the resets here. Does go with skill 2, gets defense breaks across the field. Definitely going to be helping DUCHAN out a whole lot.
Yeah, but DUCHAN also did not strip off those speed buffs, so unfortunately not going to be able to lap his opponent here. What he needs to do is strip off that speed buff so he can start lapping, but unfortunately not going to be able to do that here, and that Robo G92 is going to go down. That's big proc from that Masha here. All O2LOVEO needs to do is stack a couple of orbs onto that Nana, and he's going to have this one.
Yep, there's that strip. Oh, does get the immunity off the top of the Masha, and it is a despair. Changpong getting the attack bar pushback on top of everybody. G92 with the big skill 2. With the 3rd skill going out here, Big Fist is going to be dropping right here, and all 4 units are going to get hit.
Yeah, that's a nice despair stuns coming out from the Changpong here. DUCHAN's going to need a couple procs from his units if he wants to push the momentum more, but he's in a great spot here. O2LOVEO taking a lot of damage here. Unit's a little bit squishier than I would expect in this situation. That Robo G92 is going to be able to sap up so much attack bar here.
Yeah, a lot of attack bar going down there, and we've got no more orbs sitting on top of the Nana. Looking really good for DUCHAN right now. Bomb is going to land on top of that Masha. Masha needs to take a soul here to get the orb back up on top of that Nana.
Yeah, and Masha does take the soul of that Robo G92 here. Shizuka does only need 2 more turns to get his cooldowns up, and once that comes up, that skill 3 is going to have AoE bombs. So DUCHAN looking like he's in a great spot, but gets a huge stun on 2 units.
Yeah, double despair stun, not at all what DUCHAN needed to see right there. There's going to be another kill here that DUCHAN's going to be confirming. Despair stun's going to be locked on top of that Gianna. No more orbs sitting on top of this Nana, though.
Wow, so many stuns coming out from that Nana. It's almost like it's on 4 despair sets here, but unfortunately not able to take out this Gianna.
No, but the despair stun's going to come out with the Changpong on the side of O2LOVEO, and then that bomb is going to be landing on top of the Masha, and there you have it. That's definitely going to be it there. DUCHAN taking round 1 away from O2LOVEO.
And that is why we see cleave used so often on the ladder and at high levels of play. We saw that DUCHAN did not even get an optimal opening. That Gianna missed the strip onto that Praha, which is a 15%er, and still was able to claw back because that Robo G92 and Changpong are so impactful in the draft. So impactful in AoE and stuns, and gives you full control when those units go off. So that's why in drafts I always identify when these when AoE can take place, when AoE can do a lot of damage here, because it turns the tide so much, it forces your opponent on the back foot, and if those units are not addressed, it instantly can win the game.
Yep, exactly. I mean, like you said, we saw so many things go not in DUCHAN's way very early into the match, and it just did not matter. That's how strong that draft was coming out of DUCHAN. So excellent play by him. And I'm expecting to see a different change of pace going into round 2 with O2LOVEO, because I know O2LOVEO has that ability to turn things around for him. We'll see what happens. I'm not too sure what O2LOVEO is going to be drafting going into this round 2 against against DUCHAN here, but we'll find out. Maybe DUCHAN will stay on top here with these amazing AoE cleave that he brought in this first round.
Yeah, I think if I'm O2LOVEO, I need to find a way to steal that Gianna, and I need to find a way to disrupt and not allow my opponent to AoE cleave me. I was actually surprised to see DUCHAN take the Shizuka so early, because Shizuka is not exactly the best unit into AoE cleave, so he doesn't necessarily need to take it if he's primarily relies on cleave. So either way, it worked out. But I'm just kind of surprised to see him take that Shizuka so early. But either way, I mean, he was able to use cleave very effectively, and that's why he's here where he is. That's why he's so successful at this game and great at it. I mean, we just see him bend his draft from a Gianna Shizuka type draft that looks like it wants to potentially tangle in the turn 2 and completely turn it into a turn 1 draft.
Yep, well, let's see what happens here, because we got a pre-bans from last time that Tian Lang and the Dark Onimusha are going to be available. New pre-bans going to be coming out right now.
Yeah, and so O2LOVEO's gonna have first pick here. So DUCHAN taking out the Light Monkey makes a lot of sense. I mean, O2LOVEO has the Light Monkey, and Light Monkey is probably the best AoE unit in the game here. Interesting to note that the Gianna is not pre-banned, so O2LOVEO should take that Gianna first, and DUCHAN's likely going to follow up, follows up very quickly with the Oliver Masha, which is going to give him flexibility into Changpeng's and Robo G92 later if O2LOVEO does not address it.
Ooh, he can't decide right now. He likes the Oliver, but he just changed out that Masha. We saw Shizuka. We've got Masha back here. And he's going to be going with a Miles. That is very interesting to change to a Miles here.
Interesting choice to go with a Miles. So DUCHAN's relying more on a single target type strategy here. If he went with a Masha, he can still flex a little bit more, but Miles is definitely more single target. And O2LOVEO going with definitely more of a passive turn 2 type style play. Again, DUCHAN going with the AoE picks. I think we're going to see a Changpeng or a Masha here. Either is okay. But DUCHAN definitely pushing the aggression here. We could also see the Dark Onimusha, also valid, and complete this with another AoE stripper up top.
Yep, see what happens with DUCHAN. He's hovering with that Robo G92. O2LOVEO with the Dominic and Shizuka locked in. We're going to see a Pontos coming out for DUCHAN here. Not a Poseidon, a Pontos.
That's an interesting pick of the Pontos. I'm not exactly a fan of that because it is a great unit in general, but it does run counter to how these units are drafted and how they perform. Also, the Robo G92 and Oliver tend to cycle out of turns a lot, so they're not going to be protected as much as they normally would under a Pontos. And so O2LOVEO responding correctly, identifying that weakness and laying down that Juno, telling us that that Pontos is going to be left in field. I think the tentative ban is going to be that Miles, or you can even think about just banning the Oliver, because even though you lay down 2 fire units at the end, because Oliver's just that good. But I think in this situation, DUCHAN laying the Pontos is a huge weakness here, and O2LOVEO picked up on that and is basically going to tee off on that.
Yep, let's see what DUCHAN's going to be wrapping up his draft here, and it is going to be that Dark Onimusha. That was pre-banned last time. We're going to get that action here in this round 2.
Yeah, and I think the Dark Onimusha is also valid to ban out, but I think you can also ban out the Oliver. It's going to be one or the other here. O2LOVEO could think about banning out the Miles, but I think it just makes more sense to take out the Oliver. Is just so oppressive. But again, O2LOVEO has a great draft here, and I think as long as his Gianna can stay alive and get a strip onto that Pontos, he's going to be in good shape.
All right, let's see what happens here in this round 2 between DUCHAN and O2LOVEO. We have Miles kicking things off here.
Yeah, Miles is going to kick things off here. DUCHAN's going to get a strong advantage with that Robo G92 earlier. We're going to need to see that Dark Onimusha do a ton of damage and get DUCHAN a big lead early on.
That G92 not getting any strips there. A little bit of attack bar pushback though, which was kind of nice, but we've got Gianna looking to place a bomb here, and we do have that strip available.
Yeah, and O2LOVEO does have a decision point here. Does not use skill 3 because he does not want to have that Dark Onimusha do a ton of damage afterwards. So it'll be interesting to see how DUCHAN takes over here. But again, O2LOVEO's Shizuka is a little low on HP here, and I think DUCHAN's going to need to go after that unit.
Ooh, defense break being applied to that Dominic. We do have the additional turn as well. Big second skill he chooses to use. Let's see what happens here with O2LOVEO. O2LOVEO is going to be losing that Dominic. Masha almost in range of getting dismounted.
Wow, so much damage coming out from that Dark Onimusha there. That basically one proc killed a Dominic there. And again, O2LOVEO on the back foot. Dark Onimusha is just so, this is quite a tanky Dark Onimusha too. Just overall super well statted, lots of damage, lots of survivability.
Yep, Ponto's a little bit of damage coming towards that Shizuka, and nobody's going to get stunned up from those bombs dropping here. Dominic's going to be coming back here with skill 2 available, looking to remove that Dark Onimusha from the field. Does get that kill.
Does get that kill to Dark Onimusha, but again, O2LOVEO does, actually O2LOVEO's looking like he's in a decent spot, but that is a massive proc from that Miles because it does so much damage onto that Shizuka.
Yeah, really big proc there. O2LOVEO looking to take a unit from the field. It is now definitely O2LOVEO looking much better than DUCHAN.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why he used Fast Link on that Robo G92 there. I think he could have saved that for the Pontos there. So not sure why O2LOVEO decided to use it. Maybe felt he was so far ahead he didn't need to do that. But if Pontos gets one proc here, he's going to be able to cleanse that bomb off. So I'm not sure if O2LOVEO overstepped there and overkilled that unit there.
Yeah, let's see what happens, because there is the Miles. Miles going to be dropping. It's 2 units versus 2 units right now. So there's the beautiful buffs coming up on the side of DUCHAN. But we do have the strip available with O2LOVEO, and he does get the stuns on both units.
Does get the stuns on both units, does have fastening again, but again, Pontos tends to be on 100 resistance, and that's a massive resistance from that defense break.
Ooh, a lot of damage getting pummeled in on top of that Pontos. Bomb does go off. Both units are going to be alive right now, looking for a big skill 2 with additional turn popping out from the Pontos. Pontos is probably a little bit of poke damage coming towards that Gianna, but keep in mind, we still have a dismount that needs to happen. That's not going to happen right there, and there you go. O2LOVEO taking round 2 away from DUCHAN.
Yeah, and again, we saw in that matchup there, I mean, we saw DUCHAN have a lot of aggression with the AoE from the Robo G92, but at the same time, that Pontos kind of didn't synergize with that team. It didn't allow him to push the advantage. If he had another AoE unit instead of that Pontos there, he probably would have won that game very easily because he would have been able to push the action and continue to just overrun his opponent. But instead, he had a Pontos to kind of play a little bit back and forth, and I'm not sure that was the right pick. And we saw that, you know, ultimately he wasn't able to win because he wasn't able to take advantage of the opener that he got.
Yeah, definitely a close match, though. I mean, both drafts could have went either way with both those players, but I guess there was some decisions made that were quite interesting. So maybe we'll get better decisions to get into round 3, but I think both players could have had that win in that match either way. But we've got a 1-1 right now. We're going into a game number 3 with O2LOVEO and DUCHAN.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust their pre-bans for the next match. I mean, definitely that match earlier could have gone either way. I mean, obviously when you have 2 evenly matched players, both of them have great boxes, it's going to come down to some RNG, it's going to come down to, you know, a few procs here and there. But generally when you see these drafts, you're going to see themes kind of come together, right? Whether they're AoE cleave altogether or AoE opening strip into Masha solo kill. And so when you see Miles mixed in with AoE units, it also doesn't quite synergize as well. So it's kind of interesting to see why those are picked and if they're effective or not. And as we saw, obviously, Pontos is a great unit, but generally they work better with things like ragdolls, with units that want to survive and win over time.
Well, pre-bans from last time, Light Monkey King and the Nana are now available as we get into round 3. New pre-bans getting locked in right now, and it is a Tian Lang Ragdoll pre-ban.
Wow, I actually really like this O2LOVEO's ban on this Ragdoll here, anticipating that his Tian Lang is going to be banned out. So knowing that once that Tian Lang is gone, he's going to have a tough time dealing with the Ragdoll, preemptively takes that. So really good pre-ban coming on the side of O2LOVEO here. And of course, the unit of choice between the 2 players is going to be Gianna that they're going to fight over.
Yep, it's very quick. That Gianna's getting locked down almost immediately, followed up by a very quick Oliver and Light Monkey King locked down by O2LOVEO.
Yeah, so we're about to see if O2LOVEO can enable that Light Monkey King to full effect here. That Light Monkey King, if it's able to get off, is super impressive here. DUCHAN going with the Nephthys Masha, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Dark Onimusha and then a Moor to finish things off, or a Chiwu or some sort of AoE unit. That looks to be how DUCHAN is setting this up. O2LOVEO is going to need to find a way to disrupt that.
Very interesting. Tomo is going to be coming out for O2LOVEO here. See if he chooses to lock that unit out. He does take that unit away, and we're going to be seeing another Water Ryu coming out, well, alongside the Wunsa.
Wow, okay. I actually really like the response from DUCHAN here. So this is likely a Nem Trap Tiana here. We're also going to probably see a ban on the Wunsa, is my guess here. because if that Tiana's banned out and the Wunsa are banned out, and the Wunsa's not banned out, DUCHAN still needs a way to survive. O2LOVEO is kind of stuck in a spot where he needs to take another AoE unit, because if that Light Monkey's gone, he's in a lot of trouble. Gaining is kind of an AoE unit, but this signals to me that the Masha's the ban, yeah, because otherwise, if your Light Monkey's banned out, you're in a lot of trouble.
Well, 33 speed lead coming up for O2LOVEO, 24 for DUCHAN. Let's see if O2LOVEO's going to be taking this first turn here. I love that these players are really going all in with these AoE teams here. Wunsa with the big third skill coming out for O2LOVEO.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. Should not use third skill here. Should just use second skill, because that Tiana should be a Nem Trap Tiana here. And it's going to put O2LOVEO in a bit of a tough spot. But somehow, tuning-wise, this Pontos moves in front of the Tiana.
Yeah, Pontos is going to be taking first turn here, and it looks like he's just going to go with the skill 2, looking to get that silence on top of the Water Ryu. Water Ryu with no skills available, only left with the skill 1.
Water Ryu only with the skill 1 here, but does not use anything else. And then that third skill AoE is going to set up for this Nephthys Gianna.
Yep, well, Gianna's looking like put a bomb onto the field here, choosing probably to put it onto the Oliver. Choosing to put it onto the Light Monkey King to lock that unit down.
Yeah, needs to put it on Light Monkey King, because one proc would mean that there's AoE control going on the side of O2LOVEO here. But again, O2LOVEO's going to need some procs on this Oliver if he wants to come back. He has defense break on these units. There's going to be a lot of damage that he's going to be taking here. A lot of resilience coming out with the Holy Ground coming out from Ponto. So really like DUCHAN's chances here. O2LOVEO's unit's a little squishy here, and I don't think he's going to be able to survive this onslaught.
Yeah, there's that skill 1 going towards that Light Monkey. Light Monkey being the unit that DUCHAN wants to get rid of the most right now. There's that bomb, detonates, removes that Light Monkey King from the field. Oliver not able to do anything through that invincibility on all units inside of DUCHAN.
Yeah, DUCHAN just needs to land a couple more bombs, do some AoE damage, do some single target damage with the Gianna here to whittle units down here. And eventually he's going to overrun O2LOVEO here, because he's just got so much damage. And O2LOVEO doesn't really have a win condition to come back from this.
No, not at all. And that Water Ryu getting 0 value with all the invincibility on the side of DUCHAN. DUCHAN's just taking these units out one by one. Bomb sitting on top of Oliver. That's going to be it. DUCHAN taking round 3 away.
Yeah, and DUCHAN there, very wisely taking that Tiana and Pontos there. I think both of them are Nem Traps. And then also very smart to use skill 2 to silence the Water Ryu, to kind of prevent it from using skill 2 and disrupting his team, and kind of put O2LOVEO in a rough spot. I think O2LOVEO with that Wunsa there exposed him a little bit, because when you have an Oliver, Moore, and Wunsa there, and a Light Monkey, your last pick has to be an impact unit. It has to do something once you have an opener, because if that Light Monkey's banned, then you're stuck with units that, you know, open up for you but don't have anything to follow up with. So I think draft-wise, he already has that more to strip for him. He should have taken his impact unit a little earlier and then Wunsa afterwards. Then he wouldn't be faced with that Tiana Nem Trap in that situation. But either way, I mean, we got to see a very cool Nephthys Gianna counterplay from DUCHAN. And I just really like that draft overall.
Yeah, I honestly, I really like both players' draft here. It felt very, I don't want to say all in, but it feels like both players really trying to go at it there, and I definitely appreciate a draft like that. So well done on DUCHAN here, and definitely expecting to see DUCHAN probably do fairly well going into the round 4 here and draft something probably similar. I know these two are fighting over this Gianna unit, but the Gianna doesn't signal that whoever owns the Gianna is going to be the winner here. So let's see what happens here as we get into round 4.
Oh, and yeah, in these drafts, it'll be interesting to see how round 4 pans out. But yes, these drafts are definitely all in. When you don't see Shizuka's, when you see AoE cleaves, you see Tiana's, Wunsas, these are all in. Because once that Light Monkey gets off, it's all in, it's over. So everything is drafted and built around that moment where you can gain AoE control. So in this matchup, we see that Gianna pre-ban, we see that Nana pre-ban, so we're likely going to see DUCHAN he's going to be able to rely on that Tianlang, or going to have to face that Tianlang, and O2LOVEO's going to have that in his back pocket.
Yep, first pick coming out for O2LOVEO. Very interesting to see a Gianna getting pre-banned here, and we've got Shizuka as a #1 pick here for O2LOVEO.
Interesting choice to go to Shizuka early. Means that he's likely gonna want to take Gianna at some point to drop a bomb and kind of power up that Shizuka. But I think, and I like DUCHAN's response. I mean, very neutral here. You're going with an Oliver, going with the Masha. You can lean into cleave or lean in a little bit more turn 2 if you want. Also different ways you can cleave if you want. And O2LOVEO's going to respond with the Tianlang here at this point. I think that's a fair and good response. I'm not sure about the Miles, because the Miles is a little early, I think. It's going to open him up to being cleaved, potentially, especially because some of the best cleaving units are Changpengs and Robo G92s. So if DUCHAN wants to cleave O2LOVEO down, this is on the field at the moment. He just needs to know that O2LOVEO has that wounds in the back pocket and needs to draft around that.
Oof, DUCHAN looking at another Pontos G92, bringing back the G92, locking in the Changpeng.
Yeah, so as called, I mean, this looks like O2LOVEO is set up and primed to be cleaved here, as DUCHAN recognizes that and goes with the Changpeng. The Pontos is an interesting pick because, again, it doesn't really synergize with the cleaving style play, and it also powers up the Shizuka skill 3 a little bit by giving that invincibility down the line. So O2LOVEO is going to tee off on this Pontos, taking a Juno, and likely taking one more unit that is pretty good into the Pontos. DUCHAN running with the lore, interesting. I thought he would have taken the Robo G92. I know there's a Tianlang on the field, but Robo G92 is still very viable in this. If you go with that and ban the Juno out.
It's almost like he heard you. Robo G92 is exactly what's going to be coming here. Takes that LD Nat5 Laura right out, locks in the 4-star unit G92.
Yeah, so we're going from, instead of taking LD units, we're taking 4-star units, and of course that Juno has to be the pre-ban as called here. So DUCHAN's gonna have an opening from this Changpeng into a Masha, and he's gonna need to find a kill with it, or he's gonna face a lot of damage coming out from O2LOVEO.
Yep, see if he lands that damage. Oh, just a little bit of poke damage coming towards that Dominic, not using that second skill just yet. Gravity shots coming out on top of the Pontos, not receiving the stun there with that Miles, but of course we're picking up holy ground here. Immunity and invincibility is coming out, and you got a skill 2 primed and ready from DUCHAN.
DUCHAN needs to get a glancing onto this Tianlang here, otherwise he might get stripped. Tianlang does have a very high chance to strip, but unfortunately doesn't even strip the will off of the Tianlang.
Whoa, resisting a whole lot from that Tianlang. The only unit to get stripped there was the Changpeng. Changpeng not in great shape at all right now, though.
Yeah, Changpeng definitely not in great shape. That unit's going to go down. So it's going to come down to Tianlang, Miles, and Shizuka versus these three units, because we're going to see this Dominic drop, and then we're going to see this Oliver just run wild here.
Yep, definitely going to see it run wild here. Indeed, we've got the defense break and an almost dead Dominic going to be happening here with the big skill 2. He's going to finish him off. Sounds going across the board. A little bit of skill 1 going towards this Oliver. Oliver is going to be handling that very, very well. A little bit of damage. No soul getting applied to that Tianlang.
Yeah, and that's a very, very big miss of the defense break. So unfortunately, O2LOVEO's going to be on the back foot here. Needs a proc on the Miles. Otherwise, he's not going to have enough damage to take out this Oliver. This Masha already has skill 2, does so much damage here. This Oliver is going to be able to use skill 3, go into skill 2, and do so much damage to O2LOVEO's units.
Yep, here comes that skill 3. It's going to be coming out right here. Potentially going out on the Tianlang is going to be the Tianlang doing a lot of damage here. There's the additional turn with the skill 2 going out on the Tianlang. Drops that Tianlang. Looking very good for DUCHAN.
Yeah, looking amazing for DUCHAN here. I mean, DUCHAN here is going to be able to lock down this Miles. Unless that Miles procs here, he's going to be able to use Oliver and get full attack bar because that Tianlang's not here anymore. So DUCHAN's in a great spot, has a Pontos, has a Masha that's not going to do a lot in the water, but there is that Oliver that's going to do quite a bit.
Yeah, nice little assist there going. The Shizuka skill 2 is going to be available. Does get the full strip on top of that Oliver. A little bit of damage coming towards that Oliver with the additional turns coming up with the Shizuka. Shizuka with all things happening right there with the third skill, getting the invincibility up for themselves.
Absolutely massive proc from that Shizuka, able to get that invincibility up, and that's what allows him to take out that Oliver. So now all of a sudden O2LOVEO's in a good spot, but does get defense broken by this Masha.
Yeah, O2LOVEO getting a lot of additional turns right there, but that Masha landing the defense break on top of that Miles off of an additional turn was definitely something DUCHAN really, really needed here.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why he decided to revive the Tianlang there. I think he should have thrown that second skill onto the Miles, because if DUCHAN's able to get a couple more procs here and take out this Miles, O2LOVEO's going to be in a bad spot.
Oh, beautiful sweeping wave's going to be happening here. Get the silence out here. A little bit of more poke damage coming towards this Miles. Miles with the additional turn once again, dealing lots of damage to this Masha. Masha needs to finish off this Miles here, and we may have it with DUCHAN.
DUCHAN needs a crit right here, does not get the crit, super unlucky not to crit any of those times here. So DUCHAN needs to find a way to take down this Miles, but does not do it with the Pontos.
Does not at all. More damage is going to be coming out towards that. Does get the additional turn here. Holy Ground comes out, but I do believe all skills are going to be available for it, and gets resisted. Not all skills are going to be available just yet for O2LOVEO.
Yeah, and O2LOVEO's gonna be in a good spot here. That Pontos does not do any damage here. That Shizuka's quite tanky, so we're gonna see a 5th match.
Oh, there's that damage. No strip's going to be happening here, of course. A little bit of damage. Everyone's just going to be skill wanting each other, but that Shizuka had the invincibility, brings back the Tian Lang. Tian Lang looking to finish off, holding ground. It's coming out for those Pontos. Pontos trying to land a skill 2. Does finally land here. Skill 1's going right into the invincibility with the additional turn. Nothing's going to be happening here.
Nothing's gonna be happening here, but O2LOVEO's gonna be able to revive the Dominic, and he's gonna seal this one.
And there you have it. O2LOVEO getting that 2nd victory for him, keeping it alive, and we're going into a Game 5.
Yeah, so this is the first Game 5 that we're seeing in the APAC Cup here. Super exciting stuff. And it's interesting to see DUCHAN there. That Pontos not doing a lot of, obviously not doing a lot of damage, but again, that Pontos doesn't quite synergize with the AoE style that he's bringing. So it's interesting to see how over time, once O2LOVEO got a few key procs, he was able to come back. And rather than, if that Pontos was some other AoE unit, I think that will put O2LOVEO on even more of a back foot and probably finish the game earlier, rather, and allow DUCHAN to just basically take it home.
Yep, and I think you were right about that Pontos coming into the field and giving a little bit of value towards that Shizuka. Shizuka being able to use that 3rd skill, get all the invincibility, the immunity. The same thing Pontos was offering for DUCHAN's team, and I think that's something that O2LOVEO got to take advantage of, and it was definitely beneficial to have that invincibility, you know, to being applied to his own team. So I do agree with you. I don't think the Pontos was the correct unit, nor was the correct synergy for DUCHAN's team here. But we're going into a Game 5. They're going to fix the problems that they ran into before, or we'll see if they fix those problems they ran into before, and we'll find out who's going to be moving forward out of these 2 players, with DUCHAN and O2LOVEO.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they approach this 5th game here. I mean, the winner has, I mean, if everyone's the same skill level in this game and the same unit box, the winner here would have a 75% chance to go to Korea, right? So that's this is a very important match. Every match is important, but this one here, this is the 5th match of this set. Both players are very experienced. We've seen them in SWC before. We've seen them on the ladder. Great players, really well-known boxes, a lot of powerful LDs. So everything's on the line here for these 2 players. We see DUCHAN taking out the Tian Lang early, does not want to face that. I mean, it is such a draft impacting unit. And of course, O2LOVEO taking out the Gianna, wanting to stifle DUCHAN's cleave. I'm not sure if that's going to stifle it per se, or allow him, prevent him from cleaving. But it definitely is going to make it a little bit more difficult for sure.
Well, Tian Lang Gianna are going to be the pre-bans. Oliver first pick by DUCHAN. We have again Nana in the Masha getting drafted by O2LOVEO.
So I can see DUCHAN taking Shizuka. There we go. Shizuka and Miles there. I would have been interested to see a Praha, as we saw in America's Cup a lot more, but we haven't seen one yet between these 2 players. DUCHAN could have also leaned into a Moore and went AoE if he wanted. And O2LOVEO is going with a little bit more cleave action, flashing the Robo G92. If he does this, he's going to need to take a Changpeng, or he's going to need to take a Moore. Yeah, exactly. And he's going to need to take some AoE units, and if DUCHAN doesn't take some fire, O2LOVEO is going to round this out with a Changpeng at the end.
Oh, Ragdoll being drafted by DUCHAN. This first Ragdoll we've actually seen make it into the battlefield here. And a Diana being drafted by DUCHAN. The Diana is quite interesting.
I don't like this Diana pick by him because I think it's very passive and weak to cleave. We've already seen O2LOVEO telling us that he wants to cleave here. So O2LOVEO should round this out with a Changpeng here. And then all he needs to do is ban out Ragdoll, and he's going to have any opening he wants. Taking a Tessarian is really weird because he's running an AoE setup. An AoE opening. If he takes a Tessarian, it's going to allow DUCHAN to, you know, disrupt the AoE cleave. So I'm not sure about that Tessa pick. I would much rather see a Changpeng with a ban on the Ragdoll, because Miles usually doesn't stun off the bat, and then you're going to dominate with AoE. A Light Monkey's great. There we go. We see some AoE. There we go. So we see the AoE there. Really love that pick. Actually, even more than the Changpeng. That's a force ban. So we're going to see the Water Ryu Robo G92 opening, but the ban on the Shizuka is a little interesting, and I'm not sure if that's the correct ban there, because Ragdoll's going to be very disruptive in this matchup.
Now let's see what happens, because DUCHAN's going to be taking first turn with this Miles. Miles with a bit skill 2 available, only gets stripped, not the stun. And of course, we've got the G92 with all skills available. Look for a big skill 2, trying to get a little bit of value. Of course, it's going to be pushing up that Diana here, which still has the immunity.
Yeah, and O2LOVEO did not get the strip on the Oliver, so very unfortunate there. That Oliver's gonna be able to lock down some skills from the Nana most likely, And in this situation here, O2LOVEO's going to need to score a kill early.
Ooh, goes for the attack bar reduction, does not get the reset on top of that G92. G92 with third skill available. We're going to see the second skill. He might go and place this onto the G92, choosing to put it onto the Masha though.
Yeah, definitely needs to push on the Nana because the Masha, otherwise that's a lot of damage he's going to be eating there. That Masha's going to be able to take out that Oliver soon. That Oliver's very tanky though.
Yep, it really is. Additional turns coming out for Miles. Miles looking to do a little bit of damage here. Potentially remove this G92 from the field. Looking for a little bit of attack bar pushback on top of that Nana.
Yeah, surprised he chose not to take the life of the Robo G92 there, but instead decides he wants to have it die to dot here. I think this Diana needs to transform, needs to do some damage here. O2LOVEO's on the back foot. Once he loses his G92, he's going to lose an orb. Surprised he didn't go for it there, but DUCHAN's going to be in a good spot to take out some of O2LOVEO's units soon.
Ooh, looking for the Despair Stone and received it on top of that Ragdoll. The G92 is going to get dropped here. Looking for a defense break on top of Oliver. Does get the Oliver kill here.
Yeah, does get the Oliver kill here, and again, DUCHAN needs to set this Diana off, needs to start going here, because that Nana is going to be able to be stacking orbs. That's already one orb on that Nana.
Yep, one orb on that Nana is going to get removed here because he's going to be taking out that not taking out that Nana just yet.
Yeah, that's a very tanky Nana there, probably on some heavy minus wind here, and there's a slow on that Diana, so that Diana is probably not going to take another turn here. DUCHAN needs to get a couple procs here to take out that Nana, otherwise O2LOVEO's going to be able to push an advantage over time.
Wow, Water Ryu does get the Despair Stone on top of that Diana. Masha pummeling the damage on top of the Diana, but that's going to be it for the Nana. Nana gets dropped. Additional damage, additional turns going to be coming out for Diana. Diana back into unicorn form here with shields.
Absolutely massive proc there, allowing him to get some shields there. O2LOVEO's in a tough spot now because he only has a Water Ryu and a Masha here. Water Ryu does not do well in a Ragdoll, so O2LOVEO's kind of running out of steam here, and DUCHAN looks like he's going to take it home with this Ragdoll and Diana.
Yeah, most definitely. If he doesn't kill this Diana, Diana's going to be wrecking this Water Ryu, but he has to worry about killing this Ragdoll as well, who's almost in torrent range, but that's going to be it for the Mash here. DUCHAN almost fit to celebrate already. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, and this Diana can go for it here, knows that Water Ryu is going to go down, and it looks like DUCHAN's going to take this one home.
And there you have it, DUCHAN in round 5, taking down O2LOVEO.
There you have it. You see the face of elation, but still a lot of work there needing to be done by DUCHAN.